Alright, good morning folks. So today I'm going to show you how to set up the DHCP server. So we're in Server Manager here in our server 2008. We're going to click on roles and we're going to add the role of DHCP server. So we're going to click this option here. Select this option. We're going to click next. Next again. This is the IP address that the DHCP server will be tied to. Right, so when we installed Active Directory domain services and created the domain controller, we created the domain of swest.com. Alright, and this swest.com is the parent domain, right? The preferred DNS server IP for address is as you saw before, 0.1, which is the address for this particular server, the IP address for this particular server. We don't have any other DNS servers or any domain controllers. This is the only one, so we're not going to add an alternate DNS server. Okay, it's not been enough. Okay, so we don't have IPv6 here, so we're going to disable that option. Yes, we're going to use the current credentials. Alright, which is the SWS administrator, right? Alright, so we're going to install our DHCP server. Right, so it's nearly completed. Alright, so it's successfully installed, so we're going to click close. As you can see here, we have our DHCP server. So we're going to go into Start Administrative Tools and we're going to launch DHCP here. So we can do some configurations. Now as you can see here, we have the swest.com. Okay, so we're going to add a scope. Alright, this is basically the address pool, as I like to call it, where when hosts connect to your server, any address that is within that particular scope or pool, the host will be able to pull from that pool in order to be able to connect to the server and to browse and to do whatever you need to do. At no point in time would, and unless there are other scopes, there's absolutely no way once connecting to this server that they would be able to get addresses outside of this particular scope. Alright, so we're going to add a new scope. Alright, we're going to go through the wizard. We're going to give this DHCP IP pool connecting to server. Click next. So we're going to click the start IP address, which will be 192.168.0.1, and the ending IP address will be 192.168.0.255. Alright, Alright, so we leave that line to 24. The subnet mask is the subnet mask here, so we're going to click next. Okay, so we're going to go with 254. Alright, click next. Okay, so we have exclusions. Now, exclusions would mean that any IP address that you don't want assigned to a client PC, you can put here. So, for instance, we can't use the server address because the server address, well, you don't want anyone being able to get the server IP address. So we would start with 192.168.0.1, which is the server address, and we would reserve the first 10 IPs for any like a router or switches and whatever, not that you wish to reserve IP addresses for that you don't want clients to get. Okay. Alright, so this is the exclusion range. So we're going to click next. The lease time. This is so that okay, IP addresses are leased to a client for a specific time or for as long as they use. Well, you can set it for as long as they use the computer. However, the lease is usually so that you. Well, I think the leasing would be basically for safety purposes because if you're using a specific address, the IP addresses would change once it's a dynamic address. That once it's on the DHCP server, it will change. Um, it will basically allow for renewal of IP after the lease has expired. They will get a new IP address. So we're going to set the lease for a couple hours, maybe 2 hours. You can give them a 2 hours, Alright. Yes, I want to configure these options now. Okay, so if you have a router, and you wish to add a router to a router IP address, you can do that. However, we do not have any routers connected here, so we're just going to leave that option out. Okay, so we're going to set the parent domain. Right. The server name would be the server server PC would be the name of the nice. Okay, so added that there. Okay, so we're going to click next. We do not have any Windows servers, so we're going to browse past that option. And yes, I would like to activate this now. Alright, so there we go. And there we have the address pool. So we have the exclusion ranges. Probably haven't done any releases. Reservations. Okay, we have the scope options. Alright. Alright, so we're going to see here after changing the network sharing center, we're going to go into here, view status, well, properties. Okay, so we're going to go into internet version. Right, so as you can see, we have it obtain IP address automatically, right? Just to double check. Close, and so we're going to go into the command prompt. We're going to type in ipconfig /all. Oh, sorry, I had a typo here. And as you can see, we have a new IP address here. Right, so this is our new IP address. Our IP address is 11. All right, the DHCP server IP, DNS server IP. All right, so right, so it did not renew and it did not release. I'm getting an error message. But anyway, as you can see here, we have successfully enabled our DHCP server, and we are able to obtain IP addresses from that address pool. It started at 11, as we can see here. And next, we would look forward to configuring our DNS server. Okay, folks, goodbye and have a great afternoon. Well, have a great day.